they come. Now that I've betrayed everyone I've ever loved, I push them all away.
Hey, what's up guys, Gijik Scapegoat here. So, coming at you with a little bit of a discussion today, talking about Pacifis, the Phantasm City. So, for those that don't know exactly what this does, this is a field spell that came out like a set or two ago. It's a pretty new card. It says you can normal special summon effect monsters during the turn you activate either of this card's effects, even if this card leaves the field. Once per turn, if you normal or special summon exactly one normal monster and no other cards, you add a Phantasm Spiral card from your deck to your hand. Then, if your opponent activates a card or effect except during the damage step and you control no tokens, you special summon a Phantasm Spiral token that's a level 8 with 2000 attack and defense. So, I think that this card could very well be an anti-meta. I'm not going to say staple, but this card really could open the doors to a lot of different anti-meta options. For one, there was the Italian Nationals happened a couple of weeks ago, and one of them, someone placed playing like a weird Phantasm. He called it Fairy Tale anti-meta, but a big part of it was the field spell, the Pacifis, the Phantasm City. What I like about this card is that Phantasm City can single-handedly turn one card into like 3 or 4. Like if it stays in the field for like a full turn, you're gonna get a lot of utility out of it. And granted, I'm not deck profiling this necessarily. This isn't, this is not a deck profile. So right now this is still in early testing phases, but I really like the idea behind this because what you're doing is you're going Phantasm City, you activate that, and then, for one, it turns on cards like Heatwave, it turns on cards like Phantasm Spiral Battle, turns on Champion's Vigilance, and this card's just fucking broken. But so, well, yeah, and by the way, I'm testing this, in case I were to build it IRL, so that's why you don't see strikes in here. But yeah, so if Pacifist Phantasm City, you activate it, then your opponent activates a card or effects, then you get a token. Okay, so that's one card. And then, because you special summoned a normal special summon exactly one normal monster and no other cards, then you can add a Phantasm Spiral card, which means you're usually going to add Battle, which is your Raigeki break the deck. You can also add Power, which is you target effect. It's a Fiendish Chain, more or less. I mean, Breakthrough Skill is better. But the big thing is that you can activate these guys from your hand. So now that you've activated these guys, you can also activate these guys from your hand. So you have one card that's now turned into 3 cards. And then in addition to that, like I said, this card will single-handedly turn on ridiculously powered cards like Heatwave and Champion's Vigilance. So in addition to that, you're still not really using any resources. You're taking this one card and having it turn into 2 or 3, new cards. And then you can also use cards like Set Rotation, so you can give your opponent a Necro Valley. You can use cards like Terraforming, obviously, to get to your field spell. And these aren't cards that, you really, unless you draw literally 3 Terraforming and 2 Set Rotations, you're not really going to be bricking with these cards. People are like, oh, why wouldn't you just play 3 field spell and 3 Terraforming? It's like, yes, I thought of that, but at the same token, Ghost Ash is a card, so I wanted to give it a little bit more utility. And then plus, if you need to, it never really hurts to play Necro Valley and kind of wait it out for a turn or two, because Necro Valley is pretty much the best field spell in the game, if not of all time. I also play Wind Up Rabbits in here just because they give the deck a little bit more. I can just start poking with Wind Up Rabbit for a turn or two if I need to. Then plus, you can remove Wind Up Rabbit from the field whenever you want, which means now Phantasm Spiral Battle and Phantasm Spiral Power are turned back on, because it says if all monsters you control are normal monsters. So I really like the idea behind this field spell. I'm playing it as you don't have to play it as strictly a Phantasm deck to special out the Spiral Dragon. I'm actually contemplating cutting the Spiral Dragon altogether because I never ever use it. A lot of people are like, oh, why don't you play 2 and then play the people that are playing the Pendulum build, where it's like, oh, if a normal monster you control destroys a monster by battle, and then you can add another normal monster. It's like, what the fuck does that do? Oh, you can add Phantasm Spiral Dragon. Great. It's not like I can search it from the deck. It's not like I can search it from the deck, or if I have to pitch it off Demise or something, it's not like I can special summon it out of the graveyard or anything. That just doesn't make any sense. And it's like, oh, you can also play 3 Gene Warped Werewolf for more stun. It's like, what does that do? It's a 2,000 monster that you're going to brick with Demise. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But, so, I'm contemplating just cutting the Spiral Dragon altogether, and then just basically playing it as a sort of, jam breeding machine-like card. Or maybe playing another engine with it, maybe playing some rabbits. Maybe this could be the new version of a Chain Beat or something like that, but at the same token, this doesn't really aid the Chain Beat win condition, which is kind of just stun and dodge, for lack of a better word. But I think of this... But you can also have an element of that at the same time, because you do have Phantasm Spiral Battle as your Raigeki break. You can easily support cards like Duality and Demise in here. Phantasm Spiral Grip's a good card. Spiral Wave's not bad. Part of me wants to play more than one of this card, because then it just says if it battled, if the monster you equipped to it battled. So you can equip it to a token, swing directly for 2,000, and then Spiral Wave effect and special summon out the Spiral Dragon, and then what is it? You equip it. Equip it with this card, and then if they have any, your opponent discards a card, so that's not bad. Or like if it's the other, like you can then banish your traps out of the graveyard, and then equip the Phantasm Spiral Dragon with more equips, and then get the effects of like inflicting 1,000 damage. Like, and just keep going and going and going. I think the Phantasm Spiral Dragon is worth maybe playing at one, because it does, they do have some, like the spells do have some pretty cool effects to special the Phantasm Dragon. You can keep bringing it back from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Part of me would almost want to play like a Foolish Burial in here, so that way you can just throw it in the graveyard, and then we can maybe get it back later, but not sure how good of an idea that is, but it's something to bring up. Just the reason why I made this video was just to talk about Phantasm City, though, just because with Phantasm City, it's a 1 card that turns into 3 or 4 cards, that also supports cards like Heatwave, that also turns on, traps you can play from your hand, and it also makes really good usage of a litany of cards that a lot of decks really can't play. Like I said, like Heatwave, like Champion's Vigilance. I even play Scoldings in here. Scolding isn't bad. I also play Bribe in here. Don't judge me. And it also makes good usage of random cards like Macro and Skill Drain and stuff like that. I just think that if you guys build it as, like anybody that's watching this, if you build it as a kind of a general stun deck, like token stun almost, I actually think this deck has, I just think playing with a deck as a win kit, like with a win condition like this, where it's just kind of token beatdown, is definitely possible. The dude that topped the Italian Nationals, he ran, I think, 3 raw Sphere modes in the main deck. Like, he was playing some wonky shit, but I think it's a cool idea to keep in mind. Obviously, one of the problems is cards like Trident, so maybe playing a Kaiju engine in here would be interesting. Like maybe playing 3 to 5 Kaiju and the 2 Slumber or something like that. Just to get rid of the Trident on field or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, it's in its early testing phases, but I like the idea. I think it has potential. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.